Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. During this pandemic, government has policy for us having social and physical distancing, and because of that, university should do online learning 100%. But sadly, it's not really a good idea. Even it may be in the reality in the student school, we already familiar with online learning system itself because sometimes we do it even not 100%. And also, there are several universities already implement this kind of system, and we can call it as open university, but we can deny that not all university can do like what open university do. But sadly, because of this pandemic, you are open university or not, you should do online learning system 100%. And because of the lackness of preparation and facilities, we can deny that online learning system causing many problems for several sites. And that's why in this house we believe that online learning is rubbish. We have two arguments for supporting this motion. I'm sorry. First is it's a rubbish because not all people inside have a proper facilities for supporting this online learning. Well, from the university side, like maybe they have website and for having online learning, lecturer and also student have to access that website. But because it is accessed by so many people, in the server is getting down easily, getting crashed easily, and because of that, the source of the online learning system itself is getting delayed, and because of that, the online learning is getting hampered because we can't access the website itself. And also from the lecturer side, we can deny that for making a materials and also upload material, they have to have a proper handphone, laptop, and also like at least much quota and also internet signal. But sadly, we can't demand lecturer for having that kind of thing. And that's when the lecturer have a difficulties for making and uploading the material to the student, and also from the student itself for accessing the material from the lecturer, and also for making an assignment from the lecturer and then submitting to the lecturer. They should have a proper handphone and laptop and maybe much quota and internet signal for doing it. But sadly, we can't deny that not all people have similar facilities for it. But another terrible fact is like the source of the grade, the source of the score and the GPA is based from the assessment that has done by the student. But because they can't do it perfectly, because they can do the assignment perfectly, and the score of the student is getting impact because they don't have a supportive facilities. And in this, like because of online learning, like the student get a bad score not because they can't do it, but because they just don't have a supportive facilities for it. Like the second argument is it's a rubbish because the materials and the information can be delivered effectively. Well, we can deny that not all subjects can be done by online. Like maybe for a few subjects it can be done by online, but how about maybe for medical students or technical students that have so many practical laboratorium, like they have to do it offlinely, and they have to make a conclusion so they can get a knowledge. But they should do it but they can't do it because this kind of online learning system, like the knowledge that they should see by their side, or maybe the knowledge that should be gotten by offlinely should be done just seeing video and maybe and it's not. And the information and that's why the material and the information that should be delivered offlinely should be delivered online, and it's not really effective. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fadila Melinia, and I'm here as the first speaker from the negative team. So our topic today is online learning is rubbish. but we as a negative team disagree with this statement and will argue that online learning is rubbish. So the first, I'm going to refute the argument from the first speaker from the affirmative team that has been tried to tell us that online learning is rubbish because not all of the people have proper facilities to support the online learning. So in this point, we agree with the fact that not all of the people have proper facilities to support this online system. But we can also deny that most of people already have facilities like a smartphone, and the technology nowadays has been increased, and there are a lot of platforms that we can use in any device. And from this problem, actually there are a lot of ways to solving this problem. For it's like we can choose the platform that have a high quality and a good quality, but also easy uh, to access and to use for the others peoples, and make sure that it works together seamlessly. And the next point is, she also said that the materials and the information can be delivered effectively by online learning. So we disagree with this point because online we can get a lot of information and material from the online learning. uh, we can do it in many ways, like a video conference, sharing a lot of materials in the group class, and the discussion that each individually can contribute to the discussion and give a comment, asking about some materials and something like that. Thus, the fact that online system give us a possibility to access the materials to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It makes it easier for us to learn about the materials every time as much as we can. And the time at this time efficiency give a lot of advantages for us to learn the materials that have been delivered. As a first speaker, I'm going to talk about online learning is more effective than face-to-face learning, and our second speaker will be talking about online learning is more flexible and costs less of money, and our third speaker will be review the affirmative case and sum up our team case. So today I'm going to deliver 2 points. My first point is online learning enables us to teach and study from anywhere in the world. Nowadays, our technology has been increased, especially in online system. So we can do a lot of things without meet each other in the real life. One of those things is our topic today, that is online learning. So online learning can be done every time, everywhere, without meet each other in real life or doing fast-to-fast learning. Due to this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic has an influential impact on our education, including university education. This coronavirus outbreak interrupt the teach and study activities. In this situation, we can do the fast-to-fast learning, because people have to stay at home and adjust the social distancing, so we can do the face-to-face learning in the class. So it is the best option to do the online learning for students who can do the face-to-face learning in the class. So they can still learning the materials and get a lot of information from home. So now let's jump to the second point, that online learning is retain more materials than face-to-face learning. The online learning can be more effective in many ways. We can get a lot of information, we can get easily to sharing about materials or information to our friends or our lecturer, uh, and some research show that on average students retain 25 until 60% more material when doing online learning compared only to 8 until 10% in the classroom. This is because mostly students being able to learn faster. Online learning requires 14 until 16% less time to learn uh, than face-to-face learning. So it is because the student can learn at their own pace. They can going back, rereading, skipping, or accelerating through the concept or materials as they choose. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we disagree that online learning is rubbish because it is has a lot of advantages, and even it is more effective than face-to-face learning because it can be done every time, everywhere, and retain more of materials than face-to-face learning. So thank you so much for your attention. Have a good day.
So I'm the second speaker from the affirmative group, and before I continue our argument, I would like to refute that what has been said by the opposite team. So they believe that online learning is not rubbish, and they believe that it is way more effective than the offline learning one, because they believe that because we will have lots of materials that we got. And yes, I believe with that. But the problem here is how do we absorb that materials, because I believe that when we are in home, yes, they are right about we could study in our spare time, like we have to we can study while we are laying down, or in our spare time. Yes, I agree with that, but it is about the distraction. When we are having study in our way, there are maybe we will get some distraction, like the notification from our phone, the noises from the neighborhood, the noises from the cars, the noises from the motorcycles, and something like that. So we would like to get less concentration rather than we are having offline classes. So that is my review. And then I would like to continue the argument that has been given by the first speaker in our team. The first argument is about the facilities. It is about I've been hearing that about Elena is getting error or the Google Classroom is not working. Yes, it is true about that, and then we believe that it is not effective from our studying. And recently I have reached the news that about the spreading of the quota is not even. So there are the students on this side, they have gotten the quota thrice in 3 months. And then there are students in this side, they haven't gotten the quota at all. So I guess that is not fair. And then beside the quota spread management, it is about the signal. Yes, about the signal, because there are places who is hard to reach the signal. So maybe it is hard for us
for us to reach the online learning, because we will always have connected to the internet for this online learning. It is about that. And then the second argument is about how do we absorb the materials, because in online learning we believe that there are gaps between us. It is different from the offline learning, because in offline learning we would just sit here. The students and the lecturer would sit in one room, and then the student would sit here, the lecturers would sit there, and then when the students are having question, they would just raise their hands, or they could get in front of the class and ask the lecturers about the materials when the time is over. So when the lecturers are still there, and then the lecturer is not leaving yet, we can just walk in front of them and then ask them about the material in a formal way, and something like that. And it is about how do we absorb. And then when we are having an online class, the struggle is something like the duration in Zoom meeting or Google meeting, and maybe the signal is bad. Some of the students would have bad signal, and then the noises would get crashed, and then we as the student can hear what the lecturer is saying, and then when the time is over, then it is over. So they still have duration, and then it is just hard for reach the lecturer for asking the material that we haven't understood. Actually, it's not hard, but it is way easier to do that when we are having face-to-face classes. So that is our argument.
So good morning, everyone. The topic of our debate is this house believes that the online learning is rubbish, and we from the negative team believe that this statement is false. And before I deliver my argument, I want to review the second speaker of the affirmative team argument. She said that online learning spends so much internet data, and I probably agree in some cases, like when we have to do the video conference. But when you see in the last 3 months, our university has given us 30 gigabytes of internet data, and if you know that the assignment that has been given to us from lecture is just downloading the materials and also uploading the answer of the assignments, and the answer just in the PDF or the Word format. So it's not, I think 30 gigabytes is more than just enough for us to do that assignments. And next is, she also said that signal become their problem. I think I agree with her that in some place signal not always good, but if like the first speaker of the negative team has said that the technology nowadays has improved, and if you see that now we can use the VPN, and VPN make us able to access internet server from another country like Singapore or America or Canada that has faster internet speed. So I think I disagree with her. So that's my rebut. And the next is I want to deliver my arguments. The first is the online learning is more flexible. Unlike the regular learning that requires us to come to a class that has been determined, online learning gives us the freedom to do it. Students can take lectures anywhere and anytime, as long as they have internet connection. And some course materials can even be accessed even if there is no internet connection. And besides time and place, flexibility is also felt in the choice of online lecture material that accommodates every student's needs. Some people prefer watching over reading, so they can learn from video material. And second argument is online learning saves us more money. Online learning saves more the cost of transportation or living costs if the university chosen is outside the city we live. And compared to face-to-face lectures, online lectures save more on living costs, especially for students who come from outside the city where they are studying. You can imagine that in 1 month students can spend 1.5 million, and that's just for the cost of daily living, and maybe that does not include paying monthly fees, electricity, water, and even internet data. Even you in the face-to-face learning, you have to be using internet data because it's a must right now nowadays. So in conclusion, I think we still disagree that we disagree with the debate topic that online learning is rubbish. I think online learning gives us more flexibility and also save us more money. So thank you very much and see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the speaker of the affirmative team, I would like to repeat what the second speaker of the opposite team has been saying about the e-learning program currently. They believe that the university is easier for us as the students. About the 30 gigabyte of internet data that the university have given for us. The fact is, not every student can enjoy the 30 gigabyte of internet data because of the students are not have the same provider as what the 30 gigabyte of data have been spread off. That not every student can enjoy the 30 gigabyte of data. Some of us have got a half of the 30 gigabyte of data, and some of us has enjoyed the less more than a half of the 30 gigabyte of internet data. So it's not fair for every student that not everyone can enjoy the 30 gigabyte of the internet data. And the second one is they believe that using VPN is the good way for searching for a good connection internet, and I disagree about this, and because the use of VPN is not a guarantee that the signal is working as well. The problem is the lack of the internet connection in every region from the provider. So as we know that that not every students live in the city, and they maybe live in the suburban area, or maybe some region that cannot receive the good connection of the internet, or maybe in the village that maybe not of the connection they can enjoy as easy as they enjoy in the city. So the problem is the provider that cannot give the good connection internet for every student. And the third one, he say that the online learning is cut a half of the what we pay from the offline learning. In this case, we actually, as the students of the offline lecturer, we paid for offline learning as well. So because of this pandemic, we already have to receive and accept what the circumstances nowadays. So
Actually, the online learning really make us broke because some of us have to buy more of internet data for the online learning that we cannot that we cannot that we cannot what is that cut from the offline anymore, but we also have to online, and we need to pay more of the quota internet before the subsidy of the quota internet from the university. And not every major can become part of our major. For example, or they say that we just cut for the last 3 months, we just cut the Google form, or maybe a simple practice for us to the online lecturer. But some of the major, for example of the technique, medical, or maybe a science major, they need to be more than watching a video, or creating some Google form, or creating something in a learning website. That they need a laboratory and practical, for example, for fulfill their tasks. And it's not fair for every student in major, every student in all of our major, that they just cut the online learning as their lecturer this currently. And as I can sum up from the first and the second speaker of our team, that the first speaker say that not every university can do the online learning because there's no proper facilities, for example the device, internet connection, and etc. And also not every major can do online learning because of the necessity for doing the offline project, for example like the science, medical, or technique, or even a tourism major, and etc. And also the management and the quota we feel is unfair for every student, because not everyone is get the same quota, the quota data for every student. It's not the right thing for us for cut the better learning. And also the absorption of the material is not working well because of the lack of the material that the lecturer have been giving. So it's not about the lackness of the device and or maybe the lecturer, or maybe the students, but also it's the unprepared as well, and the website or the internet data is everything because of the pandemic. So we as the affirmative team is agree that the learning is really rubbish, and I think not every student's fault to get the bad score in this online learning because of the lack of the website, or maybe the lack of the internet program. Just because they can do this, but there's a lot of motives that they have got about of this online learning. So I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Atay Samara Zahra as the third speaker of the negative team. And today I would like to point out another point from why online classes is not rubbish. So, online classes not rubbish because online classes teach us to be more independent in learning. So when we as students have to be ambitious and fast-paced, online classes heightens up the intuition of students to learn, because if they do not learn independently, then students won't develop. So, because of online classes give students full control of their learning, students can work at their speed, Generally, students work faster and they would do otherwise and take it in more information. They can move faster through the areas of the course they feel more comfortable with, but slower through those that they need a little more time on. People who couldn't study in crowded places will feel an advantage as they can learn at home peacefully. The family will understand how important school, so they won't bother. Online classes allow students to plan study time around the rest of their day. Instead of the other way around, students can study and work at their convenience. Classes material is always accessible online, making special library trips unnecessary. All of these benefits help students balance work and family commitments with their education. Students can take online courses and even complete entire degrees while working, while in between jobs, or while taking time in to raise a family. This academic work will explain any discontinuity or gaps in a resume as well. Also, earning a degree can show ambitiousness to prospective employers and a desire to remain informed and prepared for new challenges. Not only that, in the world of work, everything must be face-paced, especially in this era of globalization. And therefore, this pandemic is one way to teach ourselves to be more and more independent. When the world has developed rapidly, blaming technology does not make sense because all technology is sophisticated, starting from smartphones that can do anything. As all people have smartphones, so which facilities that people been talking about that it's not provided? Everything is already provided, not just from universities, not just from schools, like free quota, but also not also that free internet, free. They provide it well enough, and also they can also provide it through their own smartphone because everybody has smartphones, so they can do anything from it, especially in the field of education. So, as the third speaker, it is my job to summarize my team's case is that why online classes is not rubbish is it's saving money, it's effective, it's easier in learning without putting too many efforts. So, Mr. and Madam Chairman, distinguished guests, teachers and students, in conclusion, we believe that online classes is not rubbish. Thank you.